Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first segment of WKCTC Live in 2021. My name is Mary Beth from the WKCTC Marketing Office, and I will be your host today for this Q&A about the spring semester. So, if you are a new student, a prospective student, or a family member who has questions, we would love to see your comments in the chat. If you ask a question in today's live video, you could win some great WKCTC items. We will announce the winners at the end of the segment. Okay, so let me introduce our guests for today. First, I've got Dr. Upinder Mahan, Dr. Kate Sin, Octavia Lawrence, and Mark Smith. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, so I want to remind our viewers that we are live. This is not pre-recorded, and you can start typing your questions now. So let's introduce everyone. I'm going to start with Dr. Mahan.
Thank you, Mary Beth. My name is Upinder Mahan, and I'm the Chief Academic Officer at WKCTC, started back in July, and so I help provide oversight and direction for all things academic.
Great. Dr. Sin.
Okay. My name is Kate Sin, and I'm the Associate Vice President of Academic Affairs. And I work with students as they build their schedules and work through many of the different programs.
Okay, Octavia.
Hello, my name is Octavia Lawrence, and I'm Associate Dean of Student Services here at West Kentucky. And some of my responsibilities include advising accessibility, veterans, career services, and student conduct.
Great. And Mark.
Yeah, hello guys. I am Mark Smith, the Director of Financial Aid here at West Kentucky Community and Technical College.
Okay, so guys, again, start typing in your questions now. We're going to let Mark go kind of into the green room, kind of backstage. But if you do have any financial aid questions, be sure to type those in the comments and we will bring him back. Okay, so let's jump right in, and I'm going to start with Dr. Mahan. Will spring classes be on campus or online?
The short answer is yes. So just as we did for our fall semester, we will begin with a three-pronged approach. So we'll have classes that are meeting live, in person, face-to-face. We will have classes that are online, and we'll have classes that are hybrid. And we'll talk a little bit more at a later point about how we'll ensure that everybody's safe. But we will go ahead and follow the same format we did last time.
Great. Thank you so much. So Kate, the next question is going to be, what is a hybrid class?
Okay, a hybrid class in many ways is the best of both worlds as we are working through social distancing. In a hybrid class, you will meet one day a week in person, socially distant, and the other half of the class will be online. In the online portion, there will be activities, assignments, assessments, reading, things of that nature. As I said, it's the best of both worlds. You'll get that in-person interaction between you and your peers and that contact with your faculty members. Okay. On our website, when it comes to learning a little bit more about hybrid classes and some of those individual pieces, as Mary Beth pointed out, if you go to our homepage and type in hybrid, you'll go to our frequently asked questions. It is going to tell you a lot about hybrid classes and, in some ways, which classes are going to be hybrid. In terms of which classes are going to be hybrid, if you have registered for classes, you should be hearing from your instructors within the next day or so, letting you know when your first day is going to be and how to get in touch with them. Not all of our classes are going to be hybrid. Some classes where social distancing can take place, we're going to continue to meet all of the individual days. Some of these classes are some of the math classes that have supplemental instruction. There are also some of our hands-on classes, ones like welding, cosmetology, and some of our allied health. Be sure to check your email for that information from your instructors.
Great. Thank you so much. And, Kate, how are our students going to know which day to come to class?
Okay. With our classes, for the most part, we're going to be dividing them in half based upon the alphabet. They'll be getting an email from their faculty members letting them know which day is their first day. As a general rule, students in the first half of the alphabet would probably come the first day. If it's a Monday, Wednesday, it would be Monday. And people in the second half of the alphabet with the last name in the second half of the alphabet would come the second day, the Wednesday of a Monday, Wednesday. But not all of our classes, the enrollment falls that particular way. So you'll be getting an email from the individual instructor, and you'll also be be informed whether your class is hybrid or if it's one of those classes that will be meeting, for example, both Monday and Wednesday.
Great. And I know that a lot of students, it might be intimidating to have online classes. And you said that these classes are going to be 50% online. So will there be any help for the online part of the classes that might intimidate some of these students?
Oh, absolutely. As with all classes, reaching out to your instructors is usually the best place to start. They will know a lot of details about their individual class, which discussion boards, which assignments, and be able to walk you through some of those. But also, when it comes to the technology, and in some cases, the nuts and bolts of the classes, you may need some help. Whether it's an online class, a hybrid class, or one of those 100% in-person class that has that online component, has some assignments or something of that nature, you can reach out to the online learning department here at West Kentucky Community and Technical College. We have a single email, wkctc.onlinelearning@kctcs.edu, that actually goes to a team of faculty and staff that will help walk you through those individual pieces. Over the last few months, the past year, we've become experts at walking students through each one of these pieces. We also can offer, limited with that social distancing, being able to meet with students to walk through some of these pieces, and also through Teams and some of our other virtual tools, we can, through screen sharing, we can help you out. So there is lots of help available to you. So don't let the online portion scare you.
Great. Thank you so much. And is there any chance that the classroom might change from what's shown on the schedule?
In the spring, not in the spring, in the fall, we had a situation where we had a lot of our classrooms that needed to change so that we could have that social distancing. For the most part, classes that, the classroom that appears on the schedule is where you are going to meet. But, and I hate to sound like a broken record, your faculty member will send an email to you that includes the location. Also, you can check your student self-service to see if there are any changes in terms of the location. As I said, for the fall, we did need to switch things around for social distancing. But as we were planning for the spring, we built in changes in caps and put classes in rooms that were large enough. So in terms of the student self-service, you want to go ahead and maybe you want to show students where they can see their schedules?
I'm not sure, Kate, if I have student self-service on my MyPath, because as you know, everybody's MyPath will look a little bit different. It'll be more tailored to their experience. So
Okay.
Not being a student, I don't think that I can see that.
Okay. Could you go ahead and go back to our hybrid FAQ?
Sure.
Okay. Because on this page, on the hybrid FAQ, if you scroll down, one of the expanded pieces is there we go, with the location of my classroom change. And if you go ahead and expand that, that goes ahead and tells you the different steps, which would be to go to the current student homepage, click on My Path, and then the student self-service. So for those of you watching today, if you remember nothing else, remember to go to West Kentucky's homepage, type in hybrid, and it will take you to this FAQ that will answer a lot of the questions and repeat a lot of the things that we said.
Great. Thank you, Kate. Okay, so I do want to remind everybody who's watching, if you do enter a question into the chat today, you will be entered into a drawing to win some prizes at the end of the chat. So make sure that you get your questions in. Okay, so my next question is
Beth, we actually have some questions, some student questions.
Great.
So
Okay.
we have one starting with Jason. And Jason said, do you think the different clubs will be able to meet, maybe in a larger room to get more socialization with their students? Could we utilize the auditorium to hold club meetings?
I'll be glad to take this. We have really worked on making sure that we have that we do safety first here on campus. And so as far as the different clubs meeting in larger rooms, we have really worked to try to make sure that we have most of our student activities that are virtual. I would ask Jason that you reach out to Amy Elmore to discuss this a little bit further. But we have really been requesting that most of our meetings, our social meetings, such as clubs, activities, and things like that, are done in a virtual space. But we have some, I know that there have been like some SGA meetings and things like that that have had smaller groups here on campus. So really reach out to her and work with her, and she'd be happy to help you figure that out for your particular interest.
All right, we have a couple more questions. There's Amy Elmore's email address for you. We have one, the next one is Macy Corbett, and she said, will the navigation stations be there to find the buildings that our classes will be at?
Sure. So I'll also take that one as well. We had navigation stations in the fall. I do not know that we are having navigation stations next week. I do have Amy on text right now, so I can find that information out, and I'll be sure to share it with you before the end of the broadcast, if that's okay.
And one last question for this time. Will tutoring be in person or online?
Tutoring has also, we have also done tutoring as an online service. So tutoring is available online for students.
Okay. And Keisha Moore, just now, is there any financial assistance for students who are working on a second associate's while also holding a bachelor's degree?
Mark.
Yep.
We might need to bring Mark in for that one.
Here's Mark.
Yeah, so financial aid for a bachelor's degree is loan only. Still need to fill out your financial aid application and give us a call. Well, I'd be happy to look at it and see what's there. But if you already have a bachelor's degree, a student loan is your option.
Great.
And that's all we have for now.
All right. Thank you, Tammy, so much. Okay, Kate, so I'm going to come back to you for another question.
Okay.
So what will a student need for a hybrid class? Will they need a computer or, or textbooks only? What's a student going to need for these classes?
Okay. As mentioned before, a hybrid class is half in person and half online. So when it comes to some of the requirements for the class in terms of textbooks, a lot of it depends upon the course. Many of our courses, even those that were originally scheduled to be 100% in person, have textbooks embedded within their Blackboard shell. So I would read the syllabus, get in touch with your faculty member in terms of that particular piece. For the online half of the class, you will need access to a computer and have reliable internet access. As long as possible, and I'm going to go ahead and say that, we are going to have computer labs available here on campus with social distancing, such that students would be able to do the online portion here on campus if necessary. But you're going to need a computer. In terms of the specifications of that computer, I'm going to ask Mary Beth once again to bring up the wonderful hybrid FAQ. Okay. With this computer, what is recommended is a PC, but if you have a Mac, you'll be able to complete most of the items. There we go. What kind of computer do I need? We have and Mary Beth, I'm not sure that you need to click specifically on, well, go ahead and do that. The computer recommendation, that is fine. One of the reasons why I was suggesting maybe not to click on it is there are some very specific things. So for example, if you're purchasing a new computer, we have a list of items that you would need. A Windows machine, 4 gigabytes of RAM, the type of hard drive, the type of network access cards. It's a wonderful, very specific list of items that you need. Now, if you scroll down a little further, okay, it says, okay, if you already have a computer, you need to make sure that it has at least these minimum requirements. Things like Windows 8, that 4 gigabytes of RAM, having a speaker, a webcam. A webcam is highly recommended and in some cases is required within the courses. And then if you already have a Apple or Mac system, it lists the specific requirements for that, what operating system that you need. So once again, from that hybrid FAQ, we have a very specific list of what you would need for the computer portion of that. So as I know that most students will want to have that at home. So that's the recommendation, but we'll also have some open computer labs here on campus as long as it is possible through physical distancing.
Perfect. So Dr. Mahan, as Kate said, we will have computer labs available on campus, but what about, are there any hotspots? Are there any internet hotspots available on campus?
Yeah, Wi-Fi access is a real concern. As Dr. Sen, as Kate pointed out, you want to make sure that your computer is able to access the various hotspots that we do have. And so right now, of course, in all our buildings, you can get onto the network Wi-Fi. But also, if you need to, in the parking lots, you can access hotspots there as well. We're looking to strengthen the bandwidth, or rather expand the bandwidth that we do have, so that we can expand our reach. But yeah, so all our buildings and all our campuses, and certainly in the parking lots as well. And Dr. Sen will probably cringe when I say this, because she has a wonderful grasp of all the details. But chances are, if you purchased a computer, a laptop in the last couple of years, you'll be good to go.
Yes.
Great. Thank you so much. So, Kate, you've done a beautiful job of explaining what types of computers that students will need and where they can find that information. But I'm sure the question that you get a lot is, well, can I just use my phone or a tablet?
Okay. Oh, if only life was that simple, that we could do everything on our small devices. Okay. It is not possible to take an entire course using your phone. There are certain functions, taking exams, reading, using some of our publisher material. You can't do it using the phone. There are some items, like having a meeting with a faculty member for virtual office hours, or checking your email, or checking kind of a quick check. You can do that using your phone. but most assignments cannot be completed using a phone.
Okay. Dr. Mahan, I'm going to come back to you. How is WKCTC ensuring classrooms operate in a safe, sanitized, and socially distanced environment?
A wonderful question, and of course a big concern for us all. From the moment that we had to adjust what we were doing because of the epidemic, we moved in concert with the recommendations and guidelines we were receiving from our health department and from the governor's office. And I have to say that our maintenance and operations folks, our faculty, our staff, our students have been wonderfully compliant, understanding of what it is we need to do. So, for example, we make sure that we practice social distancing. We mark off in the classrooms that we do have in service for those classes that do need to meet face-to-face. We make sure that all of the seats that are available in that classroom are socially distanced, appropriately socially distanced. We make sure that if a student has forgotten to bring their mask, that we have masks available for them to use. We have cleaning supplies in every classroom to make sure that we're cleaning up after ourselves. So we're following a very strict cleaning regimen for all our buildings. And I have to say, I've been very, very pleasantly surprised by the enthusiasm by which everybody has embraced the need for us to be safe. Actually, I think I can go ahead and say that our campus is one of the safer spots in town, in the region. I think a lot of institutions have taken safety to heart.
Thank you, Dr. Mahan. So before we go on, I do want to let everybody know that if you do ask a question in tonight's live stream, you will be entered to win a prize at the end of the screen. So make sure you get your question in and we will answer that for you here live.
Actually, Mary Beth, we have a question right now. So we
Great.
have one from Amanda Shimwell, and she is asking, how does virtual office hours work?
I guess I'll go ahead and talk about virtual office hours. This is becoming the Kate show, but that's okay. Virtual office hours are often done using Microsoft Teams. What you will do is you'll set up an appointment with a faculty member, or sometimes a faculty member has an open time, and you will simply, either using your computer or using your phone, click on it, and you will be able to meet with the faculty member. You'll be able to share video, see each other, of course, hear each other. And if you're doing it from a computer, and particularly if you're trying to work through something, you're able to share screens. So it's a smaller version of what we're doing right now. It's that ability to meet one-on-one. For the most part, there are two tools that we use. One of them is Microsoft Teams, and the other one is Blackboard Collaborate. There are instructions on how to get onto each one of these. And just like before, if you have difficulty making that connection in terms of the virtual office hours, you'll be able to reach out to your instructor or online learning. So it's actually a very simple tool. Faculty member will send you a link, you'll click on it and be able to meet.
Okay.
Before I forget, what was that you mentioned earlier about Hangouts as a way of doing virtual office hours as well?
Actually, thank you for reminding me. There are a number of faculty members that have decided that over a period of time, when they are sitting in their office or in particular hours during the day, they turn on their camera, they open up the Collaborate session or a team session, and they allow students to come. And one of our previous questions talked about that human interaction and being able to talk with each other. And so kind of setting up a space where you can talk with a faculty member or also talk to some of your peers. So with the virtual office hours, with Teams, with Collaborate, not only can it be used for class and advising, but it can also be used to make that connection and kind of keep our community strong within our classes. So thank you for reminding me. So look for those Hangouts.
And we have another question. We have a question from Jennifer Gilbert. How can I do financial aid? Let's bring Mark in. Oh,
Oh, there he is.
There I am.
There he is.
All right, Jennifer, how can I do financial aid? This is a pretty open question. It's going to start with the FAFSA, okay? And that's the free application for federal student aid. Currently, there are 2 applications open, one for this school year, the 2020-2021 school year. That encompasses fall and spring. And then the 21-22 FAFSA application is also open for next school year, next fall and spring. So that needs to be completed. It takes a few days for us to get the application. If anything's needed, it's on your student service center under your to-do list. Give us a call if you want to make an appointment. We can help you fill out the FAFSA in here. We do encourage appointments in the office. It's our phone number's on the screen there, 534-3467. So reach out to us for that.
Tammy, do we have any other questions from Facebook?
no questions right now. That was the last one. I'll keep you posted.
Okay. So, Mark, the next question that I had was about financial aid, and it was about the FAFSA, but thank you for answering that already. That was a great segue. So my next question is, you know, a lot of people may have seen the guy from the Nappy Roots, either on TV or on social media. So, Mark, who is that guy, and what is he talking about? What scholarship is he referring to?
All right, that's great. He's been on TV a lot. That's Be Still from Nappy Roots, and he's working with KIA, and that's the Kentucky Higher Education Assistance Authority, for the Kentucky Work Ready Scholarship, and that scholarship helps fill in the gap for people that are receiving financial aid to take care of their tuition. That's for Kentucky residents that don't have an associate's degree yet. They're getting into one of those 5 sectors of high wage, high demand jobs. It includes healthcare, transportation, logistics, construction, and, you know, I made notes real good. So building things, what's that? Anyway, those 5 sectors are out there, but there's more information on workreadykentucky.com. You can see all more about the scholarship and all the different programs that it encompasses.
Okay, thank you, Kathy, for putting that up there on the screen. I appreciate it. So, Mark, why might a student not see any financial aid on their account?
Okay, well, there's a few reasons that it may be. First of all, the FAFSA. Okay, so you have to complete it. And when I say complete it, you just don't fill it out and think it's complete. There's also things that could happen when it gets to us. We need to make sure that your account's complete. And sometimes it requires some additional information. So on your student service center, you should have a task or to-do list under financial aid, and make sure that those are complete. That's the first place to check. And also feel free to reach out to our office, or and we'll look and help address. You know, there's 100 different things that could go on with it, but do that and reach out to me. I'll be happy to look at your account and see what needs to be done.
Okay, so in addition to the Work Ready Scholarship, are there any other scholarships available, and how might a student apply for those?
Okay, yeah, our school, the foundation here has a scholarship application that's open now. It's open until March the 1st, so you need to go ahead and fill it out. And it's for the 21-22 school year. On our website, that's the best one to put you into running for all of them that we have through our foundation. So I recommend every student to do that.
Great. Thank you so much, Mark, for answering those financial aid questions. Dan, would you care to put the screen up, the homepage? I was going to show a few links just really quickly. Okay, so if you go to our homepage, westkentucky.kctcs.edu, and if you scroll down just a little bit, there are 3 links that are going to be really important to you guys. There's the Work Ready Scholarship page information. Here is a quick link to fill out the FAFSA. And if you're interested in scholarships, there's a link for that as well. So those are 3 really great resources and tools right there on our homepage, ready for you to check out.
Mary Beth, could I jump in for a second here with the
Sure.
scholarships? I can't stress enough that our students, our prospective students, take a good look at that list of scholarships we have. You wouldn't believe how much of our available funding goes unclaimed, just because people haven't had a chance to look at the great variety of opportunities that we do have for funding. Some that are very specific, for people from certain areas of the region, like geographically, for certain programs. So it's worth spending some time taking a look at.
Thank you, Dr. Mahan.
Mary Beth,
Octavia, I'm going to...
we have
Thank you.
one more. We have a question here from Amanda again about financial aid. If you are needing assistance on applying for the SAP appeal, who would I need to contact?
Yeah, go ahead and send that to me. Use my email. I think you put it in the chat as well, so that's perfect. And I'll address it or give you a call. Maybe we'll talk about it, whatever needs to be done. Okay, Amanda?
Great. Thank you, Mark. So Octavia, I'm going to swing back to you unless Tammy has any other questions from Facebook.
I do not have any right now.
Okay, but a reminder to all of you guys out there watching, like this stream, share it with your friends. It will be available after this broadcast ends, so you can go back and look and check out all these different resources if you missed it, or if you have a friend who missed it, a child who missed it, you name it, it's going to be there for you guys. Okay, so Octavia, how do I access my student email account?
Yeah, so we have the ability, a wonderful resource that we have is MyPath, and MyPath is actually your portal into all of the student information that is necessary for you. As you're taking your classes, you can have access to your schedule and your user account and email so that you can find out information about your financial aid, also find out about your student billing and all of that. So Mary Beth is going to show us kind of when you get onto the website, you can go to, which is westkentucky.kctcs.edu. And as you can see across the top, the first one to the left is MyPath. And when you click on MyPath, it's going to ask you to actually log in. And once you're able to log in, you will then you can scroll down actually once you log in, and you'll see some tabs which will have information so you can look at. And Mary Beth's looks a little bit different, but some of the things that you will still have access to would be email. You would have access to what's called the student self-service, so that you can click on that, and that's where you can access your schedule and also your online billing and things like that. So it's what you will need to access Blackboard, and all of those different tabs are available through your MyPath. So please use that, and you will have to use that quite a bit while you're here at West Kentucky.
Yes, you will. That is why that is the very first link up there right on the left-hand corner on the homepage. So yes, you guys will be accessing that a lot. So Octavia, I'm going to come back to you again. If I need to change my schedule, where do I go for help?
So you can certainly call the advising center if you're looking to change your schedule. You could also, if you have an assigned advisor, you can talk to your assigned advisor about schedule changes. But to access or to reach someone in the advising center, you can just call the 270-534-3349, or you can email the WKCTC advising at kctcs.edu. I would encourage you to do that in the next couple of days, just because classes will begin on Monday, and we want to make sure that you can get into the class, that you can make the change that you need that fits your schedule.
Thank you so much. And the next question that I have for you is pretty broad, but the question is, who do I need to contact if I have questions? And there are a lot of names and emails and phone numbers that I think Kathy's going to try to put into the chat. It is a lot, so bear with her, but if you need help from a specific area, those should be coming up in the chat.
Okay. Also, if you go to Broken Record, FAQ on hybrid, one of the links is who do I contact for help? And many of these are also listed there.
Yeah. So Kathy is going to list the advising veteran services, and that number was just shared, the 534-3349, and the WKCTC advising at kctcs.edu email. But you also have admissions that is available, 270-534-3435. And so, like Kate said, the best place to be would be to go to the FAQ so that you can have a list of those numbers. But I will tell you, if you have a question and you contact either the 3349 number or the 3435 number, someone will be able to help you get the information that you need. But we have information for business affairs, financial aid, accessibility services, the bookstore, records, diversity and inclusion, our Skills U and GED services, as well as the library services. And then there is also information about contacting our food pantry, which is the campus cupboard, or counseling services. And I know that the first week of classes, we will also be sending out information to all of our students about our campus resources that will be available to help you navigate while you're here on campus.
Thank you so much, Octavia.
Thank you.
The next question that I have is, will the bookstore be open this semester?
Yes, the bookstore is already open, and there have been lots of people taking advantage of using the bookstore. The bookstore hours for this week are actually extended, so it is from 8 a.m. To 6 p.m. from January 4th through the 8th. And then the rest of the semester, the hours are 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then I just wanted to add that the student financial aid orders begin processing on January the 4th. So that means that you can charge your financial aid for your bookstore purchases. But those charges end on January the 22nd. If you do have questions, we do have someone, Caleb Buford, who is in in the bookstore, and he is at cbuford0013 at kctcs.edu. I know that's going to come up. And you can also contact the bookstore by contacting the number 270-534-3330.
Perfect. So that's good news about the bookstore. What about the library this semester?
Yes, the library is there for you to make use of. And as we're doing with all our spaces, we're making sure that we're observing social distancing there, and that we're cleaning all the surfaces. So we'll absolutely make that library available. Right now, the library is undergoing some repairs to a portion of its roof, that wonderful dome that we have. But the library is ready to have enjoyment. But I would also stress that you don't physically have to go to the library to use it. We have a real richness of virtual resources available for you. Everything from materials that are online, that are digital, as well as the ability to chat with the librarians through a little the chat box that you see on your screen. So you don't necessarily have to physically go to be able to take advantage of a lot of the same services from the library. You can do that virtually or remotely.
Thank you, Dr. Mahan. So I think we've touched on this a little bit earlier, but just in case somebody missed it, will on-campus tutoring be available? On campus?
So on-campus tutoring is not available. We are doing virtual tutoring, and someone did put in the chat earlier. If you're looking to make those appointments, you can reach out to Mason Tutor, and that's tutor with a D, Tudor. And his number is 270-534-3179. And please make sure that I have that right. If you're wanting to reach out to him, you can reach out to him to take advantage of, and you can take advantage of the online tutoring. And I've really heard great things about the online tutoring services and how students are able to access a tutor from their home and don't have to come in. So this is why we really are encouraging online tutoring.
Perfect. And Octavia, next question. I may need accessibility services. Who would I need to contact for assistance?
Sure. So you can contact the Advising Center. So the Advising Center, again, that number was 270-534-3349. And you would be able to talk to our accessibilities coordinator, who is currently Asir Scott. She would be able to help you set up your accommodations and walk with you to see what needs you have for the semester, and we would be able to assist you with that.
Okay. So, Dr. Mahan, is there a difference in financial aid, whether it covers in-person classes versus online classes versus hybrid classes?
No, not at all. That's really is the beauty of this three-pronged approach that we embarked on way back last spring, and that I'd like to think we've been refining and improving over the last semester. Your financial aid is your financial aid, and it will cover your class no matter which modality that we offer it in. It's part of our commitment to you is that you will get the education that you need, no matter how we get it to you.
Thank you so much. So we're closing in on about 15 minutes to go in this stream. So if you are just now joining us, we are live. So please send us a question in the chat. We'll be happy to answer your questions right now. And this is a great opportunity. We've got a great panel of experts right now to answer your questions. Also, if you ask a question, you will be entered into a drawing for some prizes that we will do at the end of the stream. Tammy, I'm going to ask real quick, do we have any questions from Facebook at this time?
We don't have any right now. I just put up the accessibilities that Octavia was mentioning before, but I don't see any questions right now.
Okay, guys, get those questions in. You may win something good. Okay, so next question, Octavia. Will I have to wear a mask when I'm on campus?
Yes, we are requiring that everyone, that's faculty, staff, and students, are required to wear a mask while they are here on campus. And if there are issues, if you have medical concerns about wearing a mask, you can feel free to give me a call at 270-534 3479, or you can email me at octavia.lawrence@kctcs.edu. And you can talk to me about your specific situation, and we can talk about accommodations if they are available for you.
Okay, great. So Octavia, I have a question about wearing masks on campus. Are you just required to wear a mask indoors, or do you need to wear a mask walking to and from class as well?
So when you are outside of the buildings, indoors, you absolutely have to wear it. If you are outside and you are more than 6 feet away from someone, you can certainly, sometimes when you're walking, I know when I'm walking, sometimes outside, it can be a little bit much. So we just ask that you be courteous, that if you're coming close to someone, that you put your mask on and that you observe that. But if you're walking outside, sometimes when I'm on campus, when I'm walking outside and I don't see anyone nearby, I do that. But once you see someone, we just ask that you please put your mask on. And if you're close to a building, sometimes you're walking through a breezeway or something like that, that you also do that, because you don't know who may be coming in or out of the building.
Okay.
As it's getting
And what
colder,
about-
I'm kind of enjoying having a mask on.
So Octavia, what about other types of face coverings like bandanas or face shields? Are those allowed?
We ask that you wear a properly fitting mask. We do not, in terms of the face shields, we do not want a face shield without some covering over your mouth. So we ask that you wear a properly fitting mask while you're here on campus here at WKCTC.
Okay, and one last question about the masks. What if, somebody gets out of their car and walks onto campus and they're like, oh no, I forgot my mask. I can see myself doing that. So
Yeah.
what might that student do?
Sure. So that's a great question. If you forget your mask, we have a disposable mask available for students. So we would just ask that you request that from someone, and they will be able to get you a mask to wear. And that happens even when you're going to class. We will have PPE available for students so that they can wear the mask.
Perfect. So I'm going to swing this back to Mark. Mark, will I need to make an appointment to speak with the financial aid office?
Okay, yeah. So we do encourage appointments with financial aid, and that's to keep the crowd down and sort of maximize the usage of the computer. We only have so many people in the office at a time. So yeah, give us a call, make an appointment. Our numbers, there's the 270-534-3467, and we'll do that. But we do accept walk-ins because I know that it's also needed, but we do encourage appointments.
Perfect. And how might a student apply for a student loan? If I'm a brand new student and I don't really understand the process, what are my first steps to applying for a student loan?
Okay, so the first step is the FAFSA. You have to complete the FAFSA and make sure that that's done. And then once your account's complete on your student self-service, you can, under the financial aid tab, FA loan request, so financial aid loan request, and that's where you'll do that. And then you have to go to studentloans.gov and do your master promissory note, and entrance loan counseling is required for all first-time borrowers. So then give us a call again if you have a question, of course.
Great, and that number is up there on the screen if you do have any financial aid questions. So how would a student charge books?
Okay, so once your account's complete, and assuming you have financial aid that's in excess of the amount of tuition owed, you have to complete your financial aid bookstore release. That's on your to-do list as well. You just have to do that once in your tenure with us, but that allows the bookstore, which is a third-party agency, to be able to see your financial aid and that excess aid, and you can charge books. I think you need to take your schedule and a picture ID to the bookstore, and they can charge books your financial aid.
Okay, I know a lot of students are very eager to get that funding. So when will a student expect to get the refund?
Yeah, the $1 million question. So, I mean, but financial aid, because so much is going on at the beginning of the semester, you have bookstore and everything. We got to verify your enrollment and your attendance, and it's about 6 weeks after classes begin before financial aid releases. That's the first part of it to start to release. So, middle to end of February. I don't have a date yet now. Probably 20th of February. Just guessing. This semester.
Thank you so much, Mark. Dr. Mahan, I'm going to swing it over to you. A couple of these questions have already been answered, but I'm going to go to this one. How are we going to maintain social distancing within the classroom?
Two ways primarily. One is just making sure that we get the information out. So, make sure that we have proper signage, that our faculty are reminding everybody in class at the beginning of class. Our staff are reminding people as well. So that's on the informational side. But coupled with that is this structural approach where we physically made it so that only a certain number of students can be in a particular classroom. It was great to see early on last semester our folks from maintenance and operation, Dr. Sen, others kept going from building to building, looking at classroom after classroom, getting out our tape measures and physically marking out the proper distances and making sure that we physically set up the tables and chairs so that we can maintain that distance.
Thank you so much. So everybody, we are on the home stretch right now. We have a few more questions to get through. This is your last chance. If you're just joining us, make sure that you type in a question. This is a great opportunity to get your questions answered. We have a great assortment here of guests who can answer those questions for you. And if you do ask a question today during the stream, you will be entered into a drawing for some prizes at 6 o'clock. So you won't want to miss that. Make sure you get your questions in. Okay, I'm sorry, Kate. The question to you is, why might classes not show online? So why might a student not see their classes showing up? Kate, I believe that you are muted.
Okay. I believe "Hey, you're muted" is the official catchphrase for 2020 and taking it into 2021. Sorry about that. Okay. With our classes, faculty members need to go ahead and open up classes. So it may be that you are seeing a class, but you can't get into it. If you know that a class should be there and it's not showing up, I encourage you at the top to go ahead and search for the class. For example, if it is English 101, just type in 101. There's a search bar at the top. Go ahead and search for that. On a rare occasion, you may need to change this filter on the right-hand side to have it show hidden classes. For some reason, sometimes students have inadvertently hidden a class that is still active. If all else fails, if you've gone through, you've done the search, feel free to reach out to your faculty member and, of course, online learning.
Okay, thank you, Kate. The next question that I have.
Student question, just right quick.
Oh, good.
Again, from Jennifer Gilbert, and she has a question, I believe, for Mark that says, do all loans have to be paid back?
All right. So yeah, there are three things certain in this life, and that's death, taxes, and student loans. And yes, student loans need to be paid back. That's hands down. Yeah, there's no way out of it. But there's so many opportunities that you have to come to school here and not, or take out as little debt as you can. So that's what you're going to look at with the different scholarships and financial aid opportunities that we have. So we really try to maximize that free student aid, so you minimize your debt and carry that with you because it doesn't go away.
Yeah, and once again, Mark, coming back to those scholarships that we often end up not fulfilling.
Absolutely.
The resources are there. Let's use them.
Thank you, everyone. So, Octavia, here is a really great question. Is there still time to register for classes, even though they begin next week?
Yes, and yes. There's still time. So if you come in this week, we have opportunities for you to register for classes. We are going to be open 8 to 6 for the remainder of the week. So you can certainly walk in. We do encourage appointments. And so we have ways for students to meet with advisors from the comfort of their home and their PJs. We will talk to you by phone. We will work with you by email. The Advising Center advisors are wanting to work with you. So please, if you want to register, you can also work with the admissions team, and we are ready to help you and assist you so that you are prepared for next week.
Thank you, Octavia. Dr. Mahan, this is your last question of the day.
Okay.
What will the college do if a student or employee tests positive for COVID-19?
Yeah, really important question. And again, we're following the advice of our health department, and then of course they're following all the guidelines of the CDC, and everybody's safety is uppermost in our minds. So if someone tests for COVID-19, then what we do is we make sure that the faculty member is aware. We make sure that our Healthy at Work officer is aware, and we coordinate efforts with the health department to do any contact tracing. And there have been some adjustments with exactly who carries out which part of that contact tracing. But if you need to be quarantined, then that's what we require you to do. And if you are quarantined but that aren't quite sick, right? Meaning you can still take classes, you can still do your work remotely, then that is expected and required that you will do that while you're quarantining. Now, if you test positive and become ill, then certainly we'll make adjustments in that. We'll make the necessary accommodations we need to do to make sure that no one gets penalized for getting ill. Oh gosh, that'd be horrific. But we don't want you to put yourself in any further danger, nor put anybody else in any further danger if you test positive. So stay home, take care of yourself, do as much as you can remotely. But I think this really comes back to a lot of the things we've been talking about, and that is keeping the lines of communication open. We're all concerned that you are able to get the education that you have signed up for, and we're not going to let an epidemic get in the way. But we need to know what's going on with you. So we need to know as soon as you find out that you're positive, or you've been around somebody who's positive, and that you have concerns, and we will go right from there.
Yeah, I think if we've learned anything in this past year, it's that communication is so very important. So that is going to wrap it up for the questions that I have. Tammy, I'm going to give you one last chance. Are there any other questions on your end?
I think we got to all of them, Mary Beth.
Great. Thank you, Tammy. Kathy, I'm going to ask if you would to draw our winners and put those into the chat. Guys, if there's any takeaway that I've taken from today's stream, it's to really take advantage of that hybrid classes page on the website. So when you go to our website, westkentucky.kctcs.edu, type in hybrid in the search bar. That first page that comes up in the search is going to be really important for you. There are all sorts of resources there. Kate has taken a lot of time to make sure that those are exactly what you need to know, and that is just a great resource for you to have. Okay,
So Mary, we have our winners. We have our winners, and it's up Jason, Macy, and Amanda.
All
So
right.
congratulations. Congratulations.
Okay, so if you are Jason, Macy, or Amanda, please contact Kathy. There is Kathy's email address, and you can learn how to get your prize that way. So congratulations to the three of you. Thank you for asking questions today. We're super excited for you guys. Okay, so
Thank
everyone,
you.
that is going to conclude WKCTC Live for today. Tomorrow at the very same time here on Facebook and on YouTube, we were going to have another stream. It's a jumpstart session. You'll have another opportunity to ask some questions. You will have another opportunity to win some great prizes. So if you know somebody who needs to know this information, send them our way. We would love to have them in the chat and to answer their questions as well. Again, you still have time to register for spring classes. You can schedule an in-person or online appointment to register with the Advising Center with Octavia and Crystal. Those classes are going to begin on Monday, so make sure that you get registered. Classes do start on Monday, January the 11th. So make sure to tune in tomorrow at 5 o'clock on Facebook or on YouTube, and we will see you then. Good night, everybody.
Right.